Ever get that feeling when some new tech drops and suddenly your perfectly good gear feels, well, a little last season,
Oh, definitely.
especially in the world of 360 action cameras, right?
Yeah,
The pace is just
it
relentless.
really is.
And trying to figure out if the latest thing is actually worth the hype and, the cash can be a bit of a headache.
It absolutely can. You're
Yeah.
looking at a market that's constantly evolving.
Hmm.
And for creators or even just people wanting to capture cool stuff, sifting through specs, understanding the real differences,
Hmm.
it's crucial.
Exactly.
So that's what we're here to help you with today.
Yep. Welcome to this deep dive from Beekman Tech, where we take a closer look at the tech that matters to you. Today, we've got a head-to-head two titans from Insta360.
A company that's really been leading the charge in 360.
For sure. We're
Very
putting the
current.
brand new Insta360 X5. Let's picture that with maybe a yellow tag up against the still very powerful Insta360 X4, which we can mark blue.
Good visual.
Our mission. Pretty simple, really. To dissect these two, pinpoint where the X5, truly innovates, and help you decide if those upgrades are significant enough for the potential price jump.
Understanding that next step in the evolution.
Right. Let's dive in.
And it's a fascinating step. Insta360 keeps pushing things, and the X5 is, well, the latest example. It's their top-tier camera now, really aimed at creators who want the absolute best. Image quality, build, the whole package.
Okay, so X5 is the shiny new toy, but the X4, it's not exactly ancient history, is it? Still packs a punch.
Oh, not at all. The X4 was huge when it launched. It basically brought 8K 360 video to, everyone, made it accessible.
Right, that 8K was a big deal.
It remains a very capable, very feature-rich camera, and now, with the X5 out, you'll likely find the X4 at a, more tempting price. Makes it a really strong contender for a lot of people.
Okay, so the core question we're tackling is, where does the X5 really pull ahead, and are those advancements game-changing enough to justify spending potentially more? Let's get into the nitty-gritty. Starting with arguably the heart of any camera, the image sensor.
Yeah, and this is probably the biggest hardware upgrade. The X5 has a significantly larger sensor. It's a 11.28-inch sensor.
Okay.
To give you some perspective, that's reportedly about 144% larger than the sensor in the X4.
Whoa, 144%. That sounds massive.
It is. The X4 likely has around a 12-inch sensor, which was pretty standard for that generation. Think like the difference between a good phone camera sensor and a dedicated mirrorless camera sensor. That extra surface area matters.
Right. So what's the real-world impact then for someone actually using it?
The main thing, big improvement in low light and just overall image clarity.
Makes sense?
A larger sensor just physically captures more light. So when you're shooting in dimmer conditions, indoors, concerts, maybe dusk or dawn, your video is going to be brighter, cleaner, less of that ugly, grainy noise.
Okay, that's a clear benefit. And the X5 has a specific mode for low light using that bigger sensor, right? This pure video thing.
Yes, exactly. Pure video. It's a new AI-powered mode designed specifically to boost detail and cut noise when it's dark.
AI-powered, interesting.
And impressively, it works even when you're shooting at the full 8K resolution. It's a dedicated low-light optimization, goes beyond the standard or active HDR modes on the X4.
So potentially much better results straight out of camera in those tricky lighting spots.
That's the idea. Could be a really noticeable step up compared to the X4 in low light.
Okay, better low light, check. What about just keeping the camera safe? Durability. Action cameras take a beating.
Ah, yes. And this is where the X5 nails something people have been asking for. User-replaceable lens guards, finally.
It's huge. I know people worry about scratching those bubble lenses.
Exactly. With the X4, if you scratched a lens, well, that could be a really expensive repair. Might even brick the camera for practical purposes.
Yeah, nightmare fuel for creators.
Right. But now with the X5, you scratch a guard. You just swap it out yourself. It's simple, affordable. For anyone pushing the camera in tricky spots, this alone could save serious money and hassle. Huge peace of mind.
That's fantastic news.
Yes.
Seriously practical. Okay, what about power? Battery life is always critical for long shoots. How do they stack up?
So the X5 does have a slightly larger battery. It's 2400 milliamp compared to the X4's 2290 milliamp.
Yeah, a bit bigger.
Not a massive jump in capacity, but it helps recording times a little. The bigger story, though, is charging speed.
Oh.
The X5 supports USB PD fast charging. It can hit 80% charge in about 20 minutes.
20 minutes. Seriously. versus the X4.
The X4 takes around 55 minutes, maybe closer to an hour to get to 80% standard charging.
Wow, okay, 20 minutes versus almost an hour.
Yeah.
So it's a massive difference when you're out about trying to shoot.
Huge difference. Way less downtime. More shooting, less waiting. Critical for anyone working on the go.
Definitely. Now, taking them into the elements. Waterproofing. Standard action cam feature.
Yep.
The X5 gets an upgrade here, too. It's rated for 15 meters, that's about 49 feet, straight out of the box.
And the X4?
The X4 is rated for 10 meters, or 33 feet. Still good, but the X5 gives you that extra depth without needing a case.
Right. But if you need to go deeper, you still need a dive case.
You do, and crucially, because the X5 is slightly different dimensions, the dive cases are not interchangeable. Your old X4 dive case won't fit the X5.
Ah, good to know. So upgrading might mean buying new specialized accessories like that.
Exactly, something to factor in.
Speaking of accessories, external mics. Audio's half the picture, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And this is another win for the X5. It has native Bluetooth microphone support built in.
Oh, nice. No adapter needed.
Nope. Just pair your Bluetooth mic directly. Super convenient for getting clean audio without extra dongles or cables. The X4, you typically need that specific mic adapter, another piece of gear, another cost. Gotcha. So the X5 definitely simplifies the audio setup. Okay, the X5's packing some serious upgrades.
Yeah.
But let's not count the X4 out. It still shoots that amazing 8K 360 video at 30 FPS. Yeah, that's a ton of detail for reframing.
Absolutely. The X4's 8K is still a major strength. Plus, it has Insta360's fantastic flow state stabilization.
Which is amazing.
Those high-res 72-megapixel 360 photos, a bright 2.5-inch touchscreen, voice and gesture control, and of course, the invisible selfie stick effect.
Oh.
All that good stuff is still there on the X4.
Okay. Visually, they look pretty similar, that vertical candy bar shape.
Right.
Any noticeable difference in, like, the feel or handling?
They share that core design, yeah. Optimized for the dual lenses, the X5 is a touch larger and heavier, around 200 grams versus maybe 180 for the X4.
Noticeable.
Probably not hugely in the hand, but maybe depending on your mount. Like on a helmet or something light, it's not a massive difference. Both have that similar 2.5-inch touchscreen, too.
We already covered the lens guard's big design win for the X5 durability. Anything else on build?
Just reiterating, the waterproofing, 15 meters for the X5 versus 10 for the X4 without a case. And yeah, those dive cases aren't cross-compatible, but overall you expect both to be pretty tough, built for action.
Right. Okay, let's dig into performance a bit more. Both do 8K 30 fps. What about other recording options? Frame rates, lower resolutions?
This seems to be another area where the X5 offers more flexibility. It can do 5.7K video at a smoother 60 frames per second.
Okay, good for action.
And it also offers 4K at 120 frames per second. Great for super slow motion effects when you reframe.
Ah, 120 fps. Does the X4 do that?
The X4 likely does 5.7K at 60 fps too, but that 4K 120 fps option, that seems to be an X5 advantage. Gives you more creative options for slow-mo.
Gotcha. And stability. Keeping things smooth.
Both are excellent here. They both feature Insta360's flow state stabilization and 360 horizon lock.
So gimbal-like smoothness from both.
Pretty much, yeah. Even if things get really shaky, the footage stays incredibly stable. That's a hallmark of Insta360.
Cool. And stills. Both are listed as 72MP 360 photos. Any likely difference there?
Well, given the X5's larger sensor, it's pretty reasonable to expect it'll capture stills with, slightly better detail.
Yeah.
And definitely better performance in low light, even at the same megapixel count. More light, more information captured.
Makes sense. What about color profiles? For people who like to grade their footage.
Both offer standard profiles plus flat or log profiles for more flexibility in post-production. The X5 specifically mentions an iLog profile.
iLog.
Yeah. And because that bigger sensor is capturing more data, the iLog profile on the X5 might offer slightly more dynamic range, a bit more latitude for tweaking colors and exposure later. More raw material to work with, essentially.
Okay, good for the serious editors. And audio, again, native Bluetooth mics on X5, we covered that. Any other audio differences?
The X5 is also said to have improvements to its onboard microphones, specifically better wind noise reduction.
Ah, that's always helpful outdoors.
Right. So even without an external mic, you might get cleaner audio in windy situations with the X5 compared to the X4.
Okay, let's just take a breath and quickly recap the key tech differences. We've hit sensor size, big jump in the X5. Video options, X5 adds 4K 120. Low-light X5 has Cure Video. Waterproofing X5 goes deeper. Lens guard's huge win. User replaceable in the X5. Battery slightly bigger on X5, but much faster charging. And Bluetooth mic support native on X5.
It's
Seems like
true.
quite a list for the X5.
That sums it up pretty well. The larger sensor, the AI low light mode, those replaceable guards, faster charging, deeper waterproofing, native Bluetooth audio, those are all really compelling upgrades on the X5 side.
Now, when you actually, open the box for either of these, what do you get? Anything missing you need to grab?
Pretty standard stuff for both, usually. You get the camera body, one battery, a USB-C cable for charging and data, some kind of protective pouch or case.
Lens cloth.
Yeah, lens cloth, quick start guide, warranty stuff. The crucial thing to remember is neither usually comes with a micro SD card.
Right. You absolutely need one of those.
Absolutely, and especially for 8K recording, you really need to get the right kind. Look for a UHSI V30 rated card. That V30 rating is important. It means the card is fast enough to handle the high bitrate of 8K video without dropping frames or causing issues.
Good tip. And they support up to 1 TB cards usually.
Yeah, up to 1 TB is typically supported on both.
Okay. We mentioned the X5 is a tad bigger and heavier. Is that something you'd really notice day to day or when mounting it?
It's pretty minor, honestly. A
Yeah.
few millimeters here and there, about 20 grams heavier.
So maybe not a deal breaker for most.
Probably not. You might feel it slightly on certain mounts, like a drone or maybe a very light helmet setup, but it's subtle. And that extra size likely accommodates the bigger sensor, the better battery, that lens guard mechanism. It's there for a reason.
Right. Functional differences.
Mm.
What about accessories? If someone's upgrading from an X4, can they reuse their stuff with the X5?
This is a big one to consider. Some things, yes. Universal stuff like the invisible selfie stick, anything using the standard 1420 tripod mount, that'll work fine. But UT model-specific accessories? Probably not. We mentioned the dive cases already. But also things like specialized utility frames, cages, the fast charge hubs, maybe even some fitted carry cases. Because the X5 has slightly different dimensions, those X4-specific accessories likely won't fit.
So an upgrade to X5 probably means budgeting for some new accessories too.
Very likely, yes. Unless you mostly use universal mounts. But the flip side is the X5 gains a huge accessory advantage with those replaceable lens guards. That's something the X4 just doesn't have.
Sure, that's a built-in advantage. How about just using them? Ease of use, the interface, the app.
Both are generally really user-friendly. Big touchscreens, easy menus, physical buttons, so quick actions, voice control, gesture control. They make it pretty simple on the camera itself.
And the software. Insta360's app is usually pretty good, right?
It's excellent. That's a huge strength for both cameras. The mobile app, the desktop studio software, their whole shoot first, point later workflow is brilliant.
Yeah, being able to reframe after shooting is amazing.
Totally. And the AI editing tools, Auto Edit, Shot Lab, they make it much easier to get cool, shareable clips, even if you're not a pro editor. That great software experience is consistent across both models.
You just need a decent phone or computer to handle that 8K footage, I imagine.
Oh, yeah. Editing 8K from either camera definitely needs a reasonably powerful device. Keep that in mind.
Okay. Let's circle back to battery life one more time. You mentioned an endurance mode on the X5. Tell me more about that and the overall battery picture.
Right, so the X5 battery is slightly bigger, gives a bit more standard recording time, but the X5 has this specific endurance mode.
How does that work?
It optimizes settings records at 5.7K resolution, 24 frames per second, turns HDR off, and by doing that, it can hit around 185 minutes of recording time.
185 minutes, that's over 3 hours. How does that compare to the X4's max?
The X4 typically maxes out around 135 minutes, shooting at a similar 5.7K 30 IPS. So the X5 in endurance mode offers significantly longer potential runtime.
Wow.
Combine that potential longer runtime with the super fast charging we talked about.
At 20-minute charge to 80%.
Exactly. Even though both have swappable batteries, the X5 just becomes much more practical for those really long shooting days where you might not have easy access to power.
Okay, makes a lot of sense. All right, let's get down to it. The bottom line. Based on everything, what are the main pros and cons for someone choosing the Insta360 X5?
Okay, for the X5, pros. Definitely superior image quality, especially in low light. Those invaluable replaceable lens guards, huge for peace of mind and cost. Excellent stabilization, great software. That longer battery life in endurance mode, the super fast charging.
Yeah.
And then native Bluetooth mic support.
Sounds like a strong list.
Downsides. It's going to be more expensive than the X4. You'll likely need to buy some new X5-specific accessories. Potential for overheating on very long 8K recordings. That's common with powerful action cams, but worth noting. And yeah, editing 8K needs a good computer or phone.
Okay. And the pros and cons for sticking with, or maybe now choosing, the Insta360 X4.
For the X4 Pros, Still fantastic 8K video quality, that
Mhm.
excellent flow state stabilization. It's a proven, mature platform. It's likely much more affordable now. And you get the same great Insta360 app and software. Great value proposition.
And the cons for the X4.
Cons are basically the flip side. Fixed lenses, so more risk if you damage them. Weaker low-light performance compared to the X5. Shorter battery life generally, and much slower charging. You need that adapter for external mics. And slightly less versatile frame rate
So it
options.
really does come down to what you need and what you want to spend, doesn't it?
Pretty much. The X5 is undeniably the tech leader here, packed with significant upgrades. But the X4 is still an incredibly capable camera offering fantastic 8K quality at it's likely a much better price now.
Both sound like amazing tools, just aimed slightly differently.
Exactly, both exceptional for capturing immersive stuff. The X5 pushes the envelope really for those who need the absolute best and are willing to invest in it. The X4 remains a powerful, more budget-friendly powerhouse.
All right, let's wrap up this deep dive. Today, we've really dug into the Insta360 X5 and the X4. We've hit the key differences: sensor, low light, those crucial replaceable lenses, battery, charging, waterproofing, audio.
Plus design, performance, usability, accessories. We covered a lot of ground.
Hopefully giving you a much clearer picture of which camera might be the right fit for you.
And hey, if you want even more detail, like specific spec comparisons laid out, we've got you covered on the Beekman Tech website. We have 2 in-depth blog posts.
Oh yeah, tell us about those.
First one is called Insta360 X5, Everything You Need to Know. Does what it says on the tin, a full rundown of the new flagship.
Okay,
The second is Insta360 X5 vs Insta360 X4 head-to-head comparison. Puts them directly side by side, point by point.
perfect. And people can find those where?
We'll put direct links to both articles right there in the video description below. Super easy to find. Just click through for all the details.
Awesome. Definitely check those out if you're still weighing the options. So as we close out, thinking about these cameras, the X5 pushing things forward, it makes you wonder, what kind of immersive stories are you now inspired to go out and capture? Something to think about.
Good question.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive.